Hi guys, it's Deneen from Mermaid Art Studios. I'm making this video for you just in case you miss your class. If you're home, if you're sick, and you weren't able to come to art class, you can easily see this right from your computer and do the most incredible art project. I'm giving this to you on day one, and it'll have two special projects in it. This will be the first one, and I'm going to make a nice video to show you what to do. So I know that you each will receive one of these special envelopes from me. And inside it, you will find some really cool materials, some of which I'll show you here. This is the project that I'd like to show you today. This is a neat project because it has an envelope, and it has something that will slide in and out of it. Okay, I am using my left hand, so it's harder to move. And then I've also included some neat colored paper. There should be 4 in your envelope, just different stuff. I like this one a lot too because you could write in it. And I'm hoping that we can make a really special project out of this. Now, the funny thing about it is we're going to have to figure out what we want to pop out of a square box. Now, I have a story to tell you. I personally loved animals when I was a kid, and that has not changed. I have 2 big dogs, and they're nice and crazy and fun. And one of the things I remember not too many years ago is going through Ambler and driving down Ambler Road and noticing a cool animal. Okay, so here are some of the materials that I have and that I was showing you. Now, the animal that I noticed when I came to see my father to have lunch was very interesting. I was driving down Ambler Road, and in the middle of the street, there was a teeny tiny little fluff ball, and I didn't know what it was. So, Ambler Road is a very, very quick road, and all I could do was stop in the middle of the road and open my window and look. And what I realized is the lump that I saw turned its big head all the way around and was an owl, a baby owl. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, I wondered, why is the baby owl out during the day of all times? And also, why is the baby owl just standing there? So I felt bad for it. So not that I suggest doing this, but I went over and I picked him up with my hands and I put him right in my car. And all he could do is say, hoo, hoo, like that. It was so cute. Anyway, when I had this baby owl, I went and took it all the way to Conshohocken to a special rescue. And they told me they were closed. But when I told them it was a baby owl, they said, we'll stay open just for you. And I brought him there, and they let me know that this baby owl was the runt of the family, kicked out of the nest, and they didn't think it would survive. So the baby owl was a real strong one, and it jumped in the middle of the road, and the reason it wasn't going anywhere is because it had maggots on its little feet. So they plucked them all off, and they fed it with a baby bottle, and he grew and grew and grew. I named him Hootie. Anyway, they came all the way back to Ambler and let him go, and he still flies around Ambler today. So I think, for me, I'm going to take that particular story and show you how I can convert it into a neat piece of art. Now, I showed you this before. This is going to be a house. And for me, this does not need to be a house for you, but for me, it's going to be a house. It's going to be my dad's house, which is where I went to have lunch with my dad, and that is how I saw the baby owl. Number 2, I'm going to turn this into the owl, and I'm going to have it pop right out of my house. You, on the other hand, can make anything pop out of anything. You can think a lot about it, and that's how you can invent. This will be a great project to do at home. Hold on for some other images to see what we can do. Okay, here is my piece of paper. And the first thing I'm going to do is draw a small circle, and that circle is going to represent the head of my owl. I'm going to do a little curve on the side. I'm drawing very light to start. I'm going to see if I can draw a little darker So you can see how I'm starting to make an owl. Now, what would I do with that owl? How would I make it pop out? Well, what I would do is I would take it, and this you will have to find at home, or some scissors, and I would just cut him out for now. I want to think about the colors later that I'd like to make him. I think I want his ears a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut these down. So this is just the baby owl, as you can see. And for now, I'm not coloring him in. I'm just going to put him over to the side. Now I'm looking at this, and I want to see how I can build it into a house. Now, feel free to come up with something different, but you'll see that I did give you plenty of different papers that you can kind of toy and play with. I'm just going to go here, and I think I'm just going to hold a piece of paper next to it. See how much bigger it is. I like to bend them sometimes. I'm just going to do this. Now I'm thinking of my dad's house. And the easiest way to do that would be to go with more of a generic house. Just go with a triangle. You can, of course, make this any way that you want. Now, the funny thing about it, the things that you're going to need at home are just glue and scissors and whatever kind of materials you want to use for whatever pops out of your picture. So there's a house. There's the start of a house. Definitely not finished. I need to figure out what kind of house I really want to make. Just looking at my scrap papers here. And wow. I kind of like this one. I like this door, and what I think I want to do is fold it over a little. Now you can use any glue. I would love hot glue too, but regular Elmer's glue works great. I'm just going to put it on the side in case I want to open the door. And I think I want to be able to close it, but I think I'm going to want a button. Look at this funny one I have here. This is crazy and sparkly. I always like sparkly. But if I didn't have sparkly in my box, I might use a button or a piece of pasta or something I find laying around the studio or the house. It's amazing what stuff we have, glitter. And I'm just going to put that little doorknob there. My house is starting to come along. And then I am going to want windows. It's funny because I keep looking at this paper here because it looks like it has all these crazy windows. Wouldn't it be cool if you had a house that had just crazy windows? I think I'm going to pull out a few of these and just cut them out. Maybe this one could be 2 windows. I could do that. And you know what's funny too? Sometimes it's hard to glue backwards. 1. 2. You know what I'm going to do with mine? I just thought about it, and wouldn't it be cool if I just, while it's drying, put a little mark in it there. Maybe I'll draw a person in there later, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to let it dry just to get started. Now, some of the things that you can do with this, you could do later too. I'm sure you have crayons at home, and I'm sure you have something like color pencils or markers, or if not, you could take little pieces of paper and glue it on. You can color it in many ways. You don't need to make a house. You can make anything that it pops out of. I've seen people have animals that popped out of cereal boxes, out of ice cream containers. They turn out really cool. I know somebody that even turned theirs into a car. They made it bigger than the paper, and it popped out of that. So you can be very inventive and figure out what you'd like to do and how you would like to do it. I'm going to show you the next part. If I were going to color my house, and I think that I want to make mine brick. So do you see how I'm going to draw brick here? Watch me. I'm going to start drawing brick all the way across. Okay. And when you guys are not looking, I can color it later tonight and have a lot of fun with it. See that? See my brick? I like rainbow colors sometimes, and sometimes I like stripes. And maybe I want to add stripes to my door. I can do that and add the color in later. Now, my poor little owl guy doesn't look so great yet because he needs some time to get going. So I'm going to do a little bit of drawing here to show you guys. I think I want my owl to have eyelashes. I'm going to make it a funny owl. Okay. And maybe I want to invent my owl in such a way that it's a different color than the normal owl that I saw. Because remember, this is now my story. I can make it any way I like. Let's make the owl purple. Maybe I'll make it have different color wings. I'm going to give it a orange beak. Sometimes, you guys, I like to leave everything in black and white, but I want to show you what's going to happen. Imagine that I colored in my entire house and I colored in my entire owl. Then what I would do is shoot this right back through. Sometimes you might need parents' help with this part. And my little owl can just be peeking at the top and nobody knows. And then I push up and look, he comes right up. See that? And then when you push him down, you can control him in here. You can have him hiding and you can have him come back up. Isn't that cool? You can control exactly what happens with your owl. Very cool stuff. I hope you like this project. Take care.